Hello YouTube, my name is Aghanim Scepter, this is Dota 2 and this is my introduction to a carry Tiny. I've previously done a video on a solo mid Tiny. That's my preferred role for Tiny, but carry Tiny has been a bit more popular recently. Tiny's not a very largely played hero. He's got a lot of issues. I've talked about this before. He's got very terrible base armor. He does rely on his ultimate to sort of keep him alive, as well as his passive. He's quite item dependent, or he can be quite item dependent, and his skills can be hard to use. And this game, I think I was telling that Treant to go away, and this is going to be an example of how badly a tri-lane can go if one of the players in your tri-lane is, you know, not communicating, doesn't know what they're doing, etc, etc, etc. I'm just going to put the GPM. Where's GPM? I'm just going to put GPM up. So in this game, the Rubik comes bottom after, you know, I said I should have the Rubik and Warlock as my defensive tri-lane. That makes sense. That's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with having a defensive tri-lane like that and a off-lane Treant. We're going to be against I believe a Slark and a Witch Doctor in our lane. Now Slayer, he's playing with me and he knows what he's doing. The Rubik does not, so he's doing basic good things. He's got unwarded, that's alright. It's a bit of an unusual ward location, I don't personally like it, but it doesn't make a difference, it's not a problem. And we're going to go up and I'm just going to, you know, do what I should always do in this situation. I'm playing the carry. I don't want to trade hits with the Slark very much, I just want to get last hits and denies, and that's all I'm going to try and do. The Rubik's going to go around the side and harass, and he's going to overcommit to this, and he's going to overcommit really badly. See, he's still harassing. You can see him on the top of the screen. I'm from my player perspective here, so I was a little bit confused. He's harassed a fair amount, and that was actually a good job from him. So he took a small amount of damage. He did a lot more damage to their Slark. You know, things are all well and good. So far, I've got all the last hits, 2 of the denies. So things are going well. Do miss a last hit there. And I was a little bit worried about this Rubik at this point. This is the seriously bad point. He's gone up and he's trading with 2 people on his own. I can't help him in this situation. You know, I'm a level 2 Tiny. He's level 2 Tiny is not strong in this situation. Because of that, he overcommits really badly. I wasn't in position to use a combo on the Slark. Even if I had been, it wouldn't have mattered. And now the Rubik is fed just at the worst possible point where the lane is pushed underneath the tower, and that means I'm guaranteed dead at this point. I'm doing my best to survive. I'm getting all the help I can from my team, but he is going to go down. Luckily, the creep wave died off very quickly, and these two didn't get rid of creep aggro, so they're going to die anyway. I'm going to have to TP back though, and we've lost a serious advantage in lane. The Rubik, he's gone top. He's given up. I basically told him, you know, don't do that again. If you're gonna play in a tri-lane and say, yeah, sure, whatever, don't, like, not know how to play in a tri-lane. And now I'm really flustered. I'm worried because I'm out-leveled by the Slark. That's really bad. The only good thing that comes out of that is that they didn't get rid of creep aggro when they dived under the tower. So Slayer was actually able to pick up a double kill, and he picked up a fast level 4, which is important because he's my harass now in this lane. Tiny is very poor at harassing. He's okay at harassing against melee heroes because obviously he's got very good right click damage, and you know, that's all well and good. But the problem he does have is that versus a Slark, you do not want to trade. Nobody ever wants to trade versus a Slark. He steals your stats. That's bad, especially because Tiny has very poor stats. Now again, my skill build is going to be pretty much the same as usual. I'm going to max Avalanche and Toss and get levels in Grow. I do max Avalanche before Toss, and I know technically that's bad. This is better damage scaling. They basically do the same damage overall, but the reason I max Avalanche personally is just because I find it to be a more reliable skill, and I feel most of the time you want your most reliable skill maxed out. So that's you know, I do know that it's less damage and it's less popular to do that. It's just my own personal choice that I don't really like doing that. So I'm going to miss the last hit because there's a friggin' siege catapult then. And they're interrupting a pull now, and this is, again, this is all part of the problem of the Rubik basically feeding level 1. Because the issue is, he should never have died there. And we've lost what should have been a clear advantage in lane. And because of that, you can see I'm really flustered now. My last hitting was fine at the start. I got pretty much all the last hits and a couple denies. I did get denied once by the enemy. You do have issues very early on with Tiny. Because his animation is so slow and his attack speed is so slow, it's very, very possible to just sort of like hit a creep, get a last hit, and be like, oh, I need to get the next creep. And you right click on it, and Tiny stands there for a few seconds while it dies, because his attack speed is so slow. It's really slow, and you can see, because they interrupted our pull, the lane's pushed a little bit, and that was a good move from them. But I've lost the advantage in the lane now. And because of that, me and Slayer are going to have to get kills fairly soon. Either that, or we're going to have to do some serious damage to them. The only one that I really feel like we should try and kill at this stage of the game, I don't feel like we can kill the Slark. The Slark has to require some serious lockdown. I only really have a stun for, you know, a couple seconds. And, well, actually it's only a 1 second stun overall. You know, I can throw him afterwards, but that'll do less damage, so... The only one that we can kill is the Witch Doctor, and obviously he's going to be further back normally. Now, annoyingly, we actually had an opportunity to kill the Slark then, but Slayer panicked and healed himself, and that's bad communication by me. In a situation like this, I should say, kill the Slark, because the Slark was in a position where I could do the damage to him. I had enough mana for my spells. And you can see just how much damage I did to him. If Slayer had put his damage over time spell on him, rather than using it to heal himself, and then right-click the Slark, we would have killed the Slark then. And that moment would have probably won us the lane. Either way, I'm still getting kind of okay XP. I'm level 5 at 6 minutes in. This isn't massive, but it's okay, you know. I am above the Witch Doctor and the Skeleton Kings, as far as I'm concerned. I'm fine with that. The Skeleton King is actually jungling, which is a really poor choice, by the way. Never do Skeleton King jungle if you can avoid it. Unless you're absolutely forced to do it. A Skeleton King support is honestly better. You know, go like rush Arcane Boots or some shit. So luckily they are forced out of the lane a little bit. They're a little bit fearful. But they actually shouldn't be, because I don't have kill potential on them right now, because I only have 180 mana, and I need 240 mana to kill them. Now, item build for a carry Tiny generally includes either phase or treads. I'm going to be going for treads this game, because I want the attack speed, basically. I don't feel phase is that necessary. You can do a solo mid Tiny with phase boots, and it's pretty damn good. You're extremely fast, is the most amazing thing about it. Like, really fast. You get up to... max move speed very, very quickly. But I'm going to be rushing up some treads, and then I'm going to go for a straight Aghanim Scepter, possibly with a bracelet in between. Now, this build is generally, I would say, copied from a player called AOI 2000, or AOE 2000. He's a professional player for Dignitas, and he hasn't done this very recently just because Slark's fallen off the meta a lot. But essentially, the strategy revolves around coming back from behind, and that is one thing that Tiny's very good at doing as a carry. He does not need to be ahead to be powerful. The reason for that is that Tiny's damage scaling with an Aghanim's is very much based around destroying buildings. He gets a big cleave bonus and some other things from an Aghanim Scepter, and luckily the Tinker came in for a good gank there, and that's why I used my skills on the Slark. Even though I knew I couldn't kill him, I wanted to put them in a dangerous position, and I was hoping he didn't have his ultimate, but sadly he did just about have his ulti. And here I went back accidentally to try and buy the Gloves of Haste too early, but I couldn't, so I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. So, finish my treads now. I could do a little bit of tread switching for extra mana. I can switch to Agi if I'm in a full-blown fight. The reason for that is because Agi treads do more DPS overall once you're past something like 80 or 90 damage. So relatively early into the game, and very early for a tiny, because you can see I already do 141 damage. And in fact, you saw me hit the, just as harass, you saw the Witch Doctor, he stayed a little bit too long. I just ran up and hit him, and it does like a third of his health. It really is scary how much damage Tiny does. It's not his bread and butter. At this stage in the game, I'm still relying on my Avalanche and my Toss to do the most of my damage. And here we force them back a little bit from the lane. We really wanted to try and kill them, but Slayer dropped the base a little bit too early. Sorry, I call it dropping the base because that's what everyone's calling it recently, when you use the Warlock on them. And here, I just stand in a position to protect the Tinker. And again, go on him. The Tinker manages to teleport out after getting a kill on the Witch Doctor. They've fortified their structures, but we've brought a lot of support into this fight. I was trying to get the last hit with that then, but I just right-click it down instead. So I've not got brilliant farm. It's 10 minutes in. I could have something like 60 CS now if things were going well, but the lane went badly at the very beginning due to a mistake, and because of that I only have 27 CS, 7 denies. That guy wasted his stun there. He was never going to turn around and kill me. Maybe they thought they did, but they never had the capacity to chase me in that situation. We're bringing in more support, and I mean, sadly Slayer does get hooked, so we lose him, they lose 2, we lose 2, but we take a tower for it, so that's totally worth it. The Rubik probably teleported a little bit late. He's actually tried to steal something there. What did he get? No, he got rot. Yeah, I don't think the Rubik was really much of a force this game. So after all that fighting there, I have picked up 1300 gold, and you can see my strength is pretty damn good right now. My mana pool is still very poor, and I have no mana regeneration, and I'm not going to get any for a while. I'm going to have to rely on my teammates. I'm going to have to rely on going back to base if I really need mana that badly. But mostly I'm just going to run around and right-click creeps. I need to get as much farm as possible, because as soon as I've got my Aghanim Scepter, that's the point where I farm back into the game. Even if I'm behind, which at the moment I'm actually second highest GPM on the board, but that's more due to the enemy's failings than anything. And it doesn't really matter how the enemy team did in this game, because this is just explaining how a carry tiny works and how you should think of a carry tiny. Now, one thing that I have noticed when I see people play carry tiny is they go for arcane boots. If you have a good team and you have a good team composition to do a carry tiny, your team should not be going for arcane boots. They do not scale very well. Arcane boots are entirely team based, almost always, and they're sustain based for your allies. They're not useful for a hero who's trying to win the game on his own, for a hero who's trying to do a very specific job of just doing as much destruction as possible. Because Tiny isn't exactly like a spell spammer. He just generally, if you're playing a solo mid, which is how I prefer Tiny and where you should get arcane boots in my opinion, you need as much sustain as possible because you need to be a constant map presence. A carry doesn't need to be a constant map presence. He just needs to do his specific job when it's needed of him. So he needs to farm when it's needed, he needs to kill when it's needed, he needs to push when it's needed. And because of that, I don't believe that arcane boots are even slightly necessary. So we're going to go after this Pudge here. He did use his invis to deny, but luckily me and the Treant have decided he's going to die. And I do try and steal the kill here, but the Treant's going to get it. People might complain about that. I don't care. Kill steals, all that sort of stuff, it's a team game. The Treant needs kills just as much as I do. I don't need kills that much, actually. He probably needs it a little bit more than me. Because like I said, I'm going for a farming build. I'm purposely trying to farm a lot this game. So, and I clicked on Slayer here at some point, so you're going to see me look at him and say, by the way, you should probably have a Bastion or something like that, I guess. I don't know. Either way, he's TPing to the bottom lane. Now, this is one mistake that he did make there. It should be me TPing around the map trying to get farm. He's TPing around the map trying to get farm. He should probably TP to the top lane and go and help his team. Or he should just walk somewhere. But because of this, I don't have space to farm on the bottom lane, so I'm going to have to go top and I'm going to have to make kills early. So this isn't an ideal situation for me, but I do have full mana, so I can use my my combo on someone very, very easily. And I was just saying they warded there, so counter ward to the Rubik, but he doesn't actually have counter wards on him, so, you know. We see the Skeleton King here. We almost certainly can't kill him twice, since we're quite heavily burst damage focused and we don't have repeatable stuns. And this is a point in which I was definitely feeling a little bit useless, and like my laning stage had been a real problem. If my laning stage had gone a lot better, I'd have another like 50 CS. 50 times 50, I could have like another 2,000 gold, 2,500 gold at this point. If I'd have got that extra 50 CS in the lane, I definitely feel like I'd be closer to my Aghanim Scepter right now, which would be a much better timing. I want it at sort of like just before 20 minutes if I can. Now I'm checking to see if they definitely do have the ward here. You can see he goes directly towards me then, so he'd right clicked on me, and that's what gave it away even more to me, that he definitely had vision of me when he was going there. So we know they have the ward there, and again I say to the Treant, you know, they have a ward there, and good play from him. He does have sentry wards, he's ready to counter ward. So we do destroy the enemy ward there. And that's an important thing to do, guys. If you're ever playing a utility or a support hero in your team, you know, carry wards and carry sentry wards, guys, because they're genuinely important. And just having a ward on you, or 2 wards on you, is often a lot more useful than someone having to say, oh, I think we need wards now. The reason for this is because if someone has to say that we need wards now, there's probably a problem. Whereas if you're saying, oh, you know, like if you're carrying wards on you all the time, then you can easily be in a position where you can make an advantage out of it. So say we push down a tower, like a tier 2 tower, you can place a ward in the area. And it's like situational, you know. It means that you don't then have to push down a tower and go, ooh, we might want a ward here, let's go back, put the courier to us, send a ward there, and then go there, because at that point it's probably not a safe area. If you push down a tower and then take and then immediately put a ward there, you've already got way more of an advantage than just pushing down the tower, and it's been safe because otherwise you wouldn't have been able to push down the tower for it to be a safe area. But it'll also very, very soon be reclaimed by the enemy team unless you ward there, and unless you put your map presence across the map. So we were going in to push this tower here. Annoyingly, the Tinker does get caught. I get stunned by something there, and a good ultimate from Slayer means that we do get a couple kills from that. We actually get 3. Wow, I didn't see 3 people in that, but we managed to pick up 3 kills from that. That was basically just, you know, the strength of Warlock in a push or in a team fight. Warlock's an extremely strong hero when he's got all his spells up. If he doesn't have all his spells up, he's very weak. But once he's got all his spells up, he's very strong. At this point, I was trying to say, you know, we should take a quick Roshan, but the team wasn't really committed to it, so we aren't going to get it. We basically just aren't doing it fast enough. See that it took too long to place a ward as well. I was pinging that saying, you know, you need a ward up on that area for us to take a quick Roshan here. The Treants disappeared, and we've wasted sort of 30 seconds between us pushing down the tower and getting a triple kill, and now they're all back up. So this is getting extremely dangerous. They've taken too long, and we're not going to get Roshan. So some people might say, oh, you know, this was a bad Roshan attempt because like they knew we were going to do it. Yeah. The reason that we didn't get it though is not because this was a bad Roshan attempt, but because this was just people being a little bit slow. Now I'm going to try and chase after this Pudge here, but I don't think I'm going to get him without other people really diving hard. And luckily I do think my team is going to do that. The Slark try and jumps on me then, but my teammate backs me up, and I throw a guy. And I wasn't really confident until the Rubik showed up that we were actually going to get these kills, so I do eventually turn up for that. But it was a double kill for the Treant Protector, and that's pretty good for him. I'm currently 1-1-8, I have 45 CS. My general score is good, my creep score is very average, very poor in fact, in my opinion. And like I said, that's just because of the issues in the laning stage. Now sometimes people will say, oh, you know, you're complaining about another player, you know, why don't you just improve your play? Well, here's the thing. If you're playing in a carry capacity especially, it is extremely important that your supports know what they're doing more than you in the early laning stage. Because a carry is naturally weaker in the very first early minutes. And again, this is another situation which we could have taken Roshan, but the team isn't grouped up for it. They've all spread off. They tried to take a tower mid that they were never going to take, and because of it we're going to lose this tower. I take a lot of damage and actually have to TP back, which is not something I wanted to do, but again, a carry doesn't dictate the pace of the game. He doesn't dictate the pace of where things go. Your solo mid and your supports do, in my opinion. The carry is just a tool for the rest of the team. Looks like they are taking a fight there. I think that guy, yeah, he's just going to TP out, so that was a smart move by that guy. And we are going to lose this fight because we don't have enough people there. Again, we could have just taken Roshan rather than spreading out, but sometimes with stuff like that, it's hard to explain to people there and then why you have to just go straight for Roshan, why you can, like, you can't dither about, even for 10-13 seconds, because by the time the enemy team will arrive, you know, you'll have killed it. I am jungling further here. You can see I have put my treads onto Agi. This is because the DPS is higher when you're doing just standard right clicks and stuff than when they're on strength, once your damage is over a certain threshold. You can also see just how poor my agility is. I'm level 11, my agility is 28. It's pretty rubbish. With agility treads on, I get 3 armor plus 2. And I had +2 from the Basilius as well. And they said there was a... see, I saw that there was a rune there, but it was a DD. I really wanted it. The Slark came after me then. That was a poor stun by me. And I might even die from this situation. This is very bad. Slayer has to drop the base then to save me. And that was just a bad situation for us to go into. I threw Slayer in there. That was probably unfair. We do have a mech though, so it's fine. Like, you know. I really wanted to chase after that Slark, because I knew I could beat him now. Even with the DD rune, I do a lot of damage right now. And I have my passive as well, so there's a possibility that when he tries to fight me, I would stun him. So I've almost got my Aghanim Scepter. It's 21 minutes in. I'm about 300 gold off. No, 200 gold off, so that's not so bad. My timing for it hasn't been bad, and that's mostly because we've been doing tower pushes. So I'm going to talk about upgrades in a second as soon as I actually click on my own hero. So grow, I've talked about before what it does. Gives you toss bonus, move speed, attack speed, loss, bonus damage. What grow combined with an Aghanim Scepter will do is give you bonus range of 107, that's static. A Scepter bonus cleave damage for all your hits of 50%, that's also static. Bonus building damage of 75%, and it will improve the toss bonus damage from 50% at level 1, 65% at level 2, and 80% at level 3, meaning that you do ridiculous damage with all of your right clicks and your toss avalanche combo. This is honestly an extraordinary Aghanim Scepter upgrade. It's really strong. I don't advise it on a solo mid tiny. I've talked about that before, but if you don't realise why, go and watch the other video. It's mostly to do with the fact that it's like 4,200 gold on a hero who wants to be dynamic. And Aghanim Scepter on tiny is not dynamic. Let's clear this up. Aghanim Scepter on tiny is absolutely a battering ram item. You use it to push down towers, you use it to destroy the enemy base. Because of the bonus damage that you get, as well as the bonus damage to creeps, it means you're extremely, not to creeps, to cleave, it means you're extremely fast pushing, and you're extremely fast at farming, and you're extremely fast at destroying buildings. You destroy buildings at 75% faster than you would normally do. Now, Aghanim Scepter doesn't give you huge amounts of stats. I am looking to possibly build a drum here. This will give me a little bit faster movement speed, a little bit faster attack speed. These things are really important on tiny. Getting a lot of stats at this point, after you've got your Aghanim Scepter, all your items should concentrate around adding more stats to you. And generally that stat shouldn't be... you can go for an armor item as well, like an assault cuirass. I think that's strong as well. But other than that, you should get like maybe an assault cuirass, and the rest should just be a lot of stats, because that's what you're going to be using to batter your way through. Once you've got this item, he is very much just a weapon of destruction to go forth and break everything in front of you. He is not a, you know, there's no finesse to him like there is in a solo mid-tiny, and that's fine. Let's compare my damage to the Treant Protector. He's the second highest damage on our team. Oh yeah, I hit quite a bit harder than him, plus I cleave. My attack speed is slow, but... throw the Treant Protector at him. He'll chase him down. And we do pick up the kill on that. So now we're grouped up again. You can see I'm clearing off the creep wave very, very quickly. I've finished my drum, and I'm going to go straight into a Manta Style. Now, I'll talk about that in a second. We are pushing down the tower. I should be hitting the tower, but it's already gone, so it doesn't matter. And you can see the effects of a Tiny on our team, as well as good push from the Tinker. I'd like to give props to the Tinker this game, by the way. The Tinker played absolutely stellar. He definitely played a really strong game. You can see his score right now is 8, 2, and 6, so he's been very active on the map. He's died a couple times, but that's to be expected. But you can see how fast I'm accruing gold and how fast I can farm. This is a really nice thing from the Treant here. He pushes all these creeps into this camp here, and it allows me to farm all but one extremely fast. And I'm just going to run up and backdoor this tower. I don't even care. I do extraordinary damage. Look how much I take off from the tower. And I tried to take the last hit, but it's taken from me. Now I'm going to go for a Manta Style. This means that I can use it to give myself illusions. I can try and dodge the couple of stuns that there are on the enemy team, for instance the Skeleton King stun. That'll be very useful if I can dodge that. I'm going to allow this creep wave to go in first, so it takes the creep aggro. If I'd have been hooked then, that would have been pretty bad. Luckily I didn't get hooked because Bane made a mistake. And then so did Rubik. Rubik's going to get fucked up. I have to run forward and try and stun this guy. And this is a bad fight for us now. But luckily you can see how much damage I'm doing to the Skeleton King. I'm just trying to man fight him now. I'm trying to keep alive. I do manage to kill the Skeleton King. I'm going to go on those guys, take out another one. Tinker actually gets the kill for the third one. And the same goes for the Skeleton King, but I did the vast majority of the damage there. The Skeleton King I could see was definitely going to be an issue. He was running in and he was taking a lot of fire. I should possibly have gone on the supports instead, but I decided to make it, you know, I made a decision to go on the Skeleton King. So I'm picking up my Manta Style. I think I've got my my blade already. That was a really poor move, dude. I have no idea what that means. I guess he's like complaining about the pudge or something. Or maybe he's saying our Tinker's dandy. It's got to be one of those things. I thought he was going to hook me. He hooked the Rubik. Rubik should not have been standing up on the high ground there, so Rubik is dead. Yeah, I finished my Yasha, so this is going to give me extra agility. This is really important on Tiny at this point because my attack speed is extremely slow. I don't need, you know, massive strength, and I don't need massive damage. What I need right now is a lot of attack speed so that I can fight a lot faster in the team fights. It also helps me with my move speed. This is extremely important. It means I'm mobile in the team fights. That's an extremely important thing for a carry, to be mobile. It means that you can kill someone and move on to the next one. If you're extremely immobile, like say a Skeleton King, for instance, the Skeleton King's mobility comes from the fact that he can come back. That's it. And I said sorry to the Tinker because I thought I did screw up his stack here, but it's fine because I was like, oh, I screwed up your stack. Oh, fuck it, I'll farm it for you anyway, because right now I want as much gold as possible. You can see I do farm these pretty damn fast. I don't have any lifesteal or anything yet, so I'm not super sustainable in the jungle, but I do have pretty good health and as well as regen, and now I have fairly decent armor. Nothing fantastic, you know, I know anti-mage or phantom assassin level basic armor at the moment, but pretty good. Now the reason we're going to go for Manta Style, again, it allows me to split up. All of those illusions gain the bonuses from the grow. That means, other than cleave, I don't think they gain the cleave, but that means that I can push down towers very fast. It means I can push down creeps very fast. It will increase my DPS by a very large amount. It's one of the most cost-effective damage per second items in the game, because if every part of it survives and they all like sort of open up on someone, you can see just how fast I clear off creeps here. It's extremely fast. The Witch Doctor disconnects for a second, so yeah, we are going to pause for him. And that's fine, because it gives me more time to talk about my item build in the Manta Style. So it's a very, very strong pushing item, and that's exactly the idea. I want to get to a critical mass, a point where the enemy team can't kill me fast enough, where I can just destroy like racks in a fight. You know, I don't even have to fight, I can just go and destroy racks. Tiny is extremely good at pushing, he does a lot of damage to buildings, and, you know, that's exactly what I want to do. Well, this Witch Doctor has not been playing particularly well this game. I'm not going to say this was like a, you know, a really hard game or anything, but I really wanted to show the difference between a carry Tiny and a solo mid Tiny. I've not had a huge amount of map presence, I've not always been with my team. When I have been with my team, it's been pushing, it's been team fighting, where I'm playing a solo mid, I'm trying to create space, I'm often on my own. When I am with my team, I'm sort of broken off from them because I'm trying to get solo kills on enemy important heroes. I'm trying to pick up advantages in the team fight before the team fight starts. And then I don't want to be like right in the middle of things, whereas on a solo mid, whereas on a carry Tiny, I do want to be right in the middle of things. I want to be the focus of the enemy, I want to focus down the enemy heroes. You can see I did that in the last fight because I stood there whacking the shit out of a Skeleton King for about 30 seconds, and I pretty much killed him twice, so he took some serious damage from me. Manta Style, as well as that, you know, it's just a very good item for a lot of extra stats. You know, it provides a lot of extra stats, it will give me extra int as well. At this point I'm not too bothered about my int, my skills are not that important to me, it is mostly my right clicks. But my skills are still strong, you know, I still have a stun. Anyone with a stun, their skill is always good into the very late game. So I was asking them how they are. Be nice in game, guys. Like, this is a thing that people don't realize in Dota, is that the game is only really fun if you're, you know, nice to other people and you're okay with other people. See, like, everybody is being nice to each other now. See, they even ask me is back. And that's the difference, is I've noticed, for instance, I very rarely play with other muted players. I know a lot of people complain about that. Apparently Rubik's a bit drunk. Well, I won't lie. Why you all picked bitch heroes? You have a friggin' Slark. I mean, come on. We have, like, I think they're complaining about the Tinker, and I think we were saying that in team chat. Like, what the hell do they mean by bitch heroes? Like, yeah, see, I said it, what does that even mean? I think they were saying about the Tinker, because Tinker, you know, he's a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with, but they have a friggin' Slark. I mean, come on. Slark is the most bitch hero of bitch heroes. You lose sight of him, and he comes back with full health, after you use all your spells on him and get him down to 20 HP. You can got me. I think he means you understand what I mean. And I don't. I have no idea what he means. You're friends, right? They thought we were like a 5-man stack. The only one I know on this team is Slayer. So, I believe there might be another... Yeah, I'm only friends with Warlock, I don't know the others. So Witch Doctor reconnected to the game again. More farming, guys. Watch me hit creeps for 20 minutes. It's important to actually see this though, and it's important to move around and do it. And I think I was a little bit... I think I was in the loo or something. You know, during that. I think I went, oh fuck it, I'll go to the loo. And then came back and things had happened. So again, more farming from me. Exciting Dota. I'm just trying to finish up a Manta Style. Manta is really all you need once you've got your Aghanim Scepter and a drum on Tiny, as well as, you know, your boots choice. Like I said, please, when you say make that boots choice, make it be treads. It gives you so much more. Attack speed is really important on Tiny, especially as the game goes later, because you do lose a lot of attack speed from your ultimate, which is something that might put people off grow a lot. So I picked up my ultimate orb here as well, and I knew they'd all fought a little bit, and then I saw them all move that direction, I'm just gonna... I actually fucking pointed at the screen then. That was stupid, but they all moved... Wow, I can't draw, but you can see my arrow. They were all here, and they moved this direction. So I knew it was a little bit safer to, you know, farm this sort of area for a little bit. But I did think the next creep wave was a little bit too far up. And again, guys, let's maybe take for Roshan, because they don't have wards here. Team. 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 It doesn't happen. And, you know, some things like that just don't always happen. I was trying to do what I can, but nobody wants to come with me, and if I go on my own, I don't have lifesteal yet, I basically can't do Roshan on my own. I'm not even sure if I managed to get lifesteal this game. I think I think we win the game before that point. Spoiler alert, I know, but it's already 27-13, so it's getting fairly obvious that we're going to win. So I think it's okay. I think I get away with that one. Again, just jungling on 400 HP, you know how it is. It's cool, right? And they've been off from the map for a little bit, so I think after this, yeah, I think I'm gonna clean off this creep wave if I can. I think I said at this point to the Tinker, can you farm, like, the other end of the map, generally? Because I do need to finish my items. Yeah, I finished my Manta Style with that creep wave, and I'm gonna teleport back to base, pick it up. You can see the immediate difference. I get another extra armor. My agility is up a lot higher. I've actually got more agility added than I have more strength added, and that's really important for me because my strength is already going to be very high as base, so I don't need that much. I'm only level 16 and I'm at 2402 HP. Yeah, 2402 HP with armor that's, I think I have armor of 45%. Yeah, I have an armor physical damage resistance of 45%, so my effective HP is somewhere in the region of around 4,600 HP, or maybe 4,500 HP to right clicks, and a little bit less than that to magical damage. But their magical damage isn't huge this game. It's mostly physical that I have to worry about. Most of the magic damage is going to go on other people. It's going to be spread around a lot. I'm not going to get focused very much this game, because I don't think they realise the danger that I'm starting to pose. I have my Manta Style done. Slayer gets put in a really bad position there. I'm going to kill the Tiny immediately. You can see the damage there. That guy's got a Blade Mail. That is really, really bad for me. And I didn't predict the Blade Mail. I don't have an Aegis, and I'm going to die. That was a really, really big problem for me, and that was a very smart pickup from them. A Blade Mail basically turns around all the damage that you do to a person, and hits it back at you as pure damage. So you take exactly the damage that you did to somebody else. And because of that, if they hadn't had the Blade Mail then, I'm pretty confident I would have killed them both. Because I would have survived long enough to use my stun, my combo, I would have used my Manta Style, illusion, sorry, wouldn't have died so quickly, and I would have just killed them off. So, it was a little bit annoying. I'm going to get a BKB at this point, because they have the Blade Mail. BKB does stop. Oh no, I changed my mind. I say, you know what, fuck it, I'll go for AC. I shouldn't have taken that fight anyway because it was a 2v3, but I was very confident because I just picked up my Manta Style. And that is a mistake that you could make. It's a mistake that everybody makes. I see it very commonly, especially on people when they go Radiance or when they rush Battle Fury. When you rush items, guys, the reason that you're rushing an item like a Manta Style or a Radiance or a Battle Fury is because you want to farm with those items. Those are farming items. Don't get a Radiance at 20 minutes and go, fuck yes, I got a 20-minute Radiance, let's go fight. Because you are being a fucking idiot and you will die. And it's a really bad move. It's a really, really bad move, guys, honestly. So we're looking for a push in the mid lane here. I see an illusion rune. I'm going to pick that up. And it's going to be 5 Tinies, guys. That's a serious amount of DPS. That's pretty scary stuff, honestly. If I could use all of these. The Tinker does teleport back, so we are going to have to wait until he comes to us to push down the tower. Because he used up a little bit of mana there in that fight. Well, it was just a tower push, but yeah. So, illusions everywhere. Rockmen fighting it out. That is a pretty scary sight for the enemy team. Remember, the enemy team can't tell which is the real one without hitting me. Again, the Blade Mail is being used. I'm going to switch targets. I don't want to directly attack the guy with the Blade Mail, which is the Pudge. So I kill off the Skeleton King. The Rubik actually takes the kill, because that was one thing that I was getting annoyed at this point. You know, I said earlier I'm not so bothered about people, you know, taking kills and stuff, but there were so many points in this game where I should have kills and other people were taking them. But I did a huge amount of damage in that fight. I kept them all off. We did lose 2, they lost 2, so not fantastic. The rest of our team isn't doing great, but we're still taking their tower. And the Tinker's coming back again. So we do take the tower, the Treant Protector gets the last hit. I leave it for him, basically. I've got my... No, I am going back for a Black King Bar, I think, actually. Because the Blade Mail is really doing some damage, and I don't want to be controlled in these fights. I don't want to take a lot of damage. And I do go down there, so... I do about half damage to those guys. It's not bad, but not great either. The Tinker's still really doing a vast majority of the work, and honestly, right now, I think we would have won the game there and then if I had had an Aegis. So, because if I had had an Aegis, I could have ran in, not worried so much, and still killed everybody off, and then come back with full health and stuff, and full mana. So that would definitely allow me to do more. Slayer's farming this wave. I really wanted it, but I'm dead for 40 seconds, so... It does look like he's going to go for a refresher orb. I'm not personally a fan of the whole refresher orb Aghanims on Warlock. I don't think it's very sort of like... It means that like once every 300 seconds Warlock's the best hero in the game, and then the rest of the time Warlock's the worst hero in the team. Or in the game, you know, so... You know, if you really want to take fights like that, then I guess it works. It works very well against pub players because they get destroyed in team fight by a Warlock and go, oh no, we shouldn't fight now. Let's give us like, say, like 300 seconds ish, you know, and we'll go farm during that time. We'll avoid fights, and I think then we'll be strong enough. Wrong. That is not a smart way of doing things. So, TPing mid, sadly there isn't really a safe farming place for me. I really wanted to take the farm bot actually, but Slayer's there currently, and he's going to push out the wave soon, so I'm not going to get it. The Tinker's going there now. Again, I said to the Tinker early on, you know, I'm going to need more farm at this point. I need you to give me more space to farm, but, you know, Tinker is Tinker. This is what Tinker can do. He does have issues as a hero with sort of taking your entire team's farm and still doing sort of the same things with it as if he took, you know, half that much farm. What I should be doing now is going for Ancients, but I think I want to go aggressive on this guy. I do get stunned though, so I'm not going to manage it. Maybe if I'd thrown the Treant, that would have been a good option, but I don't very often use Toss to throw other people in, or to throw people around the map. I often just combo up with my Avalanche, because for me it feels a lot more sensible to just do that all the time. And that does give you the most DPS, and I saw a haste rune there, I said don't take that, but Treant Protector did take it. If I'd had a haste rune, I could have easily found a solo kill. Because remember guys, I still do pretty much the same as a solo mid-tiny can do, with something like a haste rune or a blink dagger. I don't have a blink dagger, but say if I have a haste rune, that will more than suffice. I can very easily get myself into position and do an avalanche toss combo on someone out of position. Or someone just slightly outside from the pack, and that will instantly sort of win us the team fight because we'll be very far ahead, and I'll do a lot of DPS in the fight that might ensue. So that guy gets hit by the he gets nightmared. Then I am going to try and run to this fight. I'm getting here a little bit late, but luckily I'm going to start beating the crap out of that guy. He has turned his blade mail on, but I'm faster. I've lost a lot of damage actually from Bane, so, and I dodged the stun with my Manta Style here, so that's a good use of Manta Style there. You can see how useful it was. Treant Protector picks up the kill, but you can see the damage that I'm doing to that guy now. He's going to go down now. He's going to come back up, and we're going to try and beat him up again. He's been slowed down by a Shiva's Guard. Now it's gone to his Aegis. And again we're going to fight him. Again we're going to try and keep him controlled. He doesn't have his BKB. And the Tinker finishes off the kill. And now we're just going to push as hard as we can. I think we're going to get racks from this. We might even win the game. I finished off my BKB. You can see that in the stash. And that's important because it means I can more freely attack. I don't have to worry about getting stuns. That was a rubbish stun there. And if I'd have got my stun on target, I would have very easily killed that guy. Again, you can see me just beating up buildings. Next item, I'm going to decide, you know what, I need as much damage as possible. If I could get myself a crit or another cost-effective item, maybe an AC, I would go for an AC, but it's more expensive, so I'm just going to go straight crit. I don't need the armor particularly much. They're not doing a lot of physical DPS to me. I'm not even getting focused very much in these fights. So I do pick off the kill. I'm going to pick off the Witch Doctor as well. You can see him just standing in his ultimate. I didn't actually get him then. Fuck, I didn't get him. That's pretty upsetting. He just runs inside his fountain. That guy turns his blade mail on.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Killing spree! Axes pleased!
So I didn't actually manage to get them. That kind of sucks there. Yeah, I am getting earned up. That's pretty important.
Dire's ancient is under attack.
Probably shouldn't have used BKB then. Probably should have just taken the stun, but
Dire's ancient is under attack.
see, I've never actually got a chance to fight in my full sort of strength now. I get pulled into the fountain then, so...
Dire's ancient.
But essentially now is where I get to my full strength. The a quirk about Tiny is that if you want to 6-slot yourself, you can sell your boots and replace it with a damage item. Because he's very fast and you've got a Manta Style, you can do a lot more damage with that, and you can actually get fully 6-slotted rather than 5-slotted with a boots, an upgraded boots, which isn't as cost effective as, say, like a Daedalus or something. So that's my carry Tiny build, guys. That's my Tiny, well, it's not build, that's my carry Tiny game. Obviously a lot of things can be changed. I do advise Manta Style after Aghanim Scepter. I do advise Treads. After that, things are up to you though. You can go crit if you want it, you can go for a BKB if you feel you need it, you can go for AC, you can go for a lot of different items. So I went 6-4-1-16 that game. It wasn't a particularly amazing game. There were a lot of issues in the early game, but you can see the basic idea of it. You can see the damage that I did to towers. I wouldn't say I won that game for my team. That was definitely the Tinker. He played very well, but I still managed to keep up with him for XP and actually exceed him for gold. So my gold wasn't that great though. Again, this wasn't a great game, but I wanted you to see a carry Tiny build. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this has been helpful.